Hello, I'm wearing a peach shirt. I don't know why. It makes my face look red. That's why, I guess. My face isn't this red. Welcome. We are going to be playing some ukulele and baritone ukulele music today. So I'd love for you to go over to jollyrogerukulele.com, pick up the sheet music for today's lesson. Today we have plenty to keep us busy. We started a new round of the intro class, and so newer players are working on. Oops. I'm posting the link on our website, by the way. So if I'm making no sense, that's why. That didn't work. Let's try and copy it again. Copy. Now he says link is copied to the clipboard, and then it doesn't sometimes. Link to join, paste, shift. It's probably my fault. I don't blame the programmers. They're probably are working really hard to make everything perfect for us. All right, update and update. Okay, so we're posted on the website. Strumming in the key of A. We got our key of A strummers. This is actually a pretty important book. Getting started. We'll also make sure we're still working on getting Frere Jacques under our belt. For our half hour number 2, we'll be playing Siúil A Rún and Whiskey in the Jar. Both really super fun songs. And then we've got a new version of Blue Danube out for the classical people on book 3. So it should be a fun day. Easier stuff, harder stuff, everything's hard in music, right? jollyrogerukulele.com. We got to post on Twitter so that people will know how worldly we are. I'm putting that on the old songs of old Ireland ukulele concert. All right, let's see. Tweet. I used to put all the names of the songs on, and now it doesn't make any sense when I post, but whatever. So, all right, we're done on Twitter. I want to make sure that the link is working on page 1 of Jolly Rogers. Thursday. I even posted it in the right spot. Click, and yep, and there we go. We're all set. So let's see who's managed to make it in already today. Sandy is here, Upper Michigan, sunny and 73, and the Yoop. It's a perfect day up there. Darwin is in. Hey, buddy, 78 and a slight breeze from a fan in his kitchen. So he's logging in from his kitchen. Nice. Good to have you, Darwin. Darwin bought a fancy ukulele, arch top. Those cost more. Vic is in. Sound is good. Sunny up in Eugene. Sounds good. You'll take the sun while you get it, right? All right. Let's do 2 things. One, let's just play through Frere Jacques on both instruments. That way you have a chance to play the chords and melody. And then let's really dive into this little booklet, okay? Because that booklet, there's things that are not written on here that you're going to want to know, okay? So, grab a ukulele, grab your Frere Jacques ukulele version, and baritone players, you're going to be playing an A chord, so it's 2, 3, strings 2, 3, and 4, all in the 2nd fret. That's what your chord looks like. Let's give it a try. From the top, ukulele players, you're going to play the melody, ukulele melody line by tablature. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, 2nd string, 1st string, 1st string, 2nd string, 1st string. Let me tell you what happened there. I'm in piano class today. Well, let me take you further back. One of my very first private lessons in guitar that I'm currently taking, I says, I'm probably going to have to go to the doctor because I have a ton of arthritis in this pinky. He says, well, play for me a little bit and let's see what we can do. And so I play for him, and he says, you don't have arthritis, you have bad form. And so, so my goal when playing always now is to make sure my pinky is nice and round, right? So all of these fingers are nice and round. So this is my goal. Okay, I'm still having a terrible problem with it being straight out, but I'm working on it, right? So that's my goal in guitar, round pinky. If I get anything else done this season, that'll be enough. And so today in piano class, I'm sitting there and we're playing something. It's pretty basic little piece that we're playing. And she says, "Well, I need to talk to you about something." I says, "What's that?" She says, "Why is your left pinky finger, laying flat on the keys? It needs to be more round." So I'm carrying. You guys don't know I'm carrying a straight pinky around through life, and nobody told me. And so as I was playing Frere Jacques, I looked down and I'm like, okay, make sure you have a round pinky, and then I totally blew the song. Think making music and less about your thumb or pinky or whatever finger. Just do a good job. Here we go. One more time. 1, 2, ready. Oh, by the way, baritone players, are you giving me 1, 2, 3, 4, plucking all 4 strings? That's what we want you to do. If you're on ukulele and you want to try playing the chords with an A chord, 2, 3, 4, right? That's what I really want you to do early on here. Eventually we'll get into all this drum stuff. From the top, 1, 2, ready, play. Isn't that nice? Okay, so we're playing the ukulele from tablature and baritone from chords. So now let's switch. We're going to play baritone from tablature, and ukulele, you guys are going to play from chords. So grab your baritone version of Frere Jacques. This is in the key of E. So anytime we switch from ukulele to baritone, the key is going to change. The activity on the page is largely the same, but the key will change, and so that means the chords change. And so for ukulele players, you're going to take a bar. This is your bar. You're going to put it up on 4, and then you're going to take your pinky and put that up on 7. Have a nice rounded pinky, Gary. Okay, so this is what you're going to be looking at. Try not to tuck. I always tuck my fingers in to show you, but don't do that, right? Keep your middle and ring finger sort of poised above the fretboard. Okay. And when you first start, it's going to sound like this, and that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Eventually, you're going to build the strength in this hand. It's going to come in. Okay, so 1, 2, okay. If you're on ukulele, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, baritone players, we're going to play as written. 1, 2, ready, play. Go around one more time to the top. Blast chord ring out. If you're on ukulele and you play your final chord, right, just let it ring as long as it can. Okay. All right, beautiful. So there we are, Frere Jacques. Isn't that lovely? Who else wandered in here? Bedrock Gardens Fairy Godmother. Peggy, I'm going to try to remember your real name. You're from New Hampshire. Temperature 68 and nice up. A beautiful fall day. I'm headed up to New Hampshire at the pretty soon. And I'm excited to see. I've never been to that part of the country before, so I'm excited to see it up there. Michelle is in. They're in Rockaway Beach. I have been to Rockaway Beach when I was a little boy. It is amazing there. I can still remember it. I was probably 7, 6, something like that. Ronnie is in 87 down in Albuquerque. That sounds okay. And Rob is in from beautiful Bowie County, Texarkana. 85 degrees down there. Kind of hot this time. Kind of hot day this time of year down there for y'all. All right, let's switch over to this one. Now, next week we begin to move away from Frere Jacques, and so it's pretty important that that's feeling fairly comfortable, that you're reading the tablature 0240, 0240, and then it means something to you over here on the fretboard. Because what we'll start doing next week is using lots more strings and lots more frets, and it'll end up being amazing music that you get to create right off the bat. Okay, so we're going to talk about this one first, and I'm going to show baritone players what they're going to be doing, and then I'm going to play all this on ukulele. So baritone players, your A chord, again, everything in the second fret, 2, 3, 4, that's your A chord, okay? Your D chord is going to look like this, okay? Looks like a G chord on ukulele. Make sure your index finger is above your middle finger. Okay, and your E7 is right here. And then back to A. Okay. The F sharp minor that you're going to be dealing with is right here. Okay, so it's a bar on 2 with your ring finger here. Okay. So when we get all done and we get ready to play, it's going to be, and in fact we may do this as one of our first things. A, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, 3, back to A. Okay, so that's one of the activities we're going to be doing today. So just want to make sure you know how to make your chords. Now we'll spend the rest of the day playing on ukulele, but baritone players, you're just going to be playing right along with us, doing exactly the same thing. Just your chord shape looks different. Okay, ukulele players, let's talk about your A chord. 3 strings up, index, 4 strings up, middle. Okay, okay, give me 4 beats of that. A, A, A. Then let's go ahead and just do this right now. We'll just get this part of the lesson out of the way. Take your ring finger and put it in 2 strings up in the second fret. That's your F sharp minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nancy's in, 87 degrees down in Florida. Good to see you, Nancy. Then from here, D chord, leave your ring finger planted. Just switch your middle and index finger into the D chord. Slide your ring finger down and your index finger back to get to E7. Okay, let's go around that system several times. So you're staring at your chord charts, A, F sharp minor, D, E7. You're staring at that, okay, and trying to get your hands to cooperate just by feel. Okay, 1, 2, ready, play. A, F sharp minor next. F sharp minor, then go to D, D, 2, 3, 4, E7. Now go back to A. A, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, E7. One more time around, 2, 3, 4, and A, F sharp minor, and D, and E7. Big strum on A. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I snuck in on you at the end there a little arpeggio rather than just block plucking. And we're going to talk a lot today about how to make your right hand more creative. Okay, so let's grab Frere Jacques. Grab your A chords. Okay, there's 2 verses. First verse I want thumb down. Second verse, I want plucks. Let's do it. Ready? Play. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. To plucks, Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. Okay, and then one of those things you talk about is, you know, the stuff Gary teaches you, you're really going to end up using it. In my, I'm in a guitar orchestra over at school, and I have 76 measures where I take the top string, lay it on top of the third string, and then I do this. And I do it for 76 measures. And so, are you going to use that? Yeah, you're going to use that for sure. All right, so we've got warmed up on the A chord. Let's go over to page 10. Page 10 is my home base for getting things up and running in the book. At the bottom of page 10, okay, if you printed this right out correctly, double-sided short edge binding, you'll have a little booklet. If you didn't print it out correctly, every other page will be upside down, which is entertaining in and of itself. And if you didn't print it out at all, you gotta scroll around until you find page 10. All right, page 10 has Kookaburra on top and London Bridges on the bottom. Let's do London Bridges. We put this book together back in the day when there was a political campaign, and Take the Key and Lock Her Up was in the politics of the day. And so I changed it to Take the Key and Have Some Tea, which one, I think is far more genteel, and two, much more British. And so where you're used to reading Lock Her Up, I have Some Tea, and it accomplishes the same goal. You're going to be going from A to E7 and back to A. Okay? Again, plucking. 1, 2, 3, 4. London Bridge is falling down, switch. Falling down, switch. Falling down. London Bridge is falling down, switch. My fair lady. Keep going. Build it up with silver and gold. E7. Silver and gold. Silver and gold. Build it up with silver and gold. My fair lady. Now instead of doing block plucks, take your thumb, index, and middle. Thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. Doesn't really matter which strings you use, but probably easiest to use your third string, thumb going down, second string, index finger coming up, and middle finger, first string, index, middle finger on the first string coming up. Okay, so it's thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. Take the key and have some tea, change. Have some tea, change back. Have some tea. Take the key and have some tea. E7. My fair lady. And then a nice big pluck at the end. Isn't that lovely? Lovely little tune. One of the things that I sometimes have to talk people into believing that these songs don't matter. These songs really don't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm working on Eric Clapton's Wonderful Tonight, or Billy Joel's Piano Man, or Carole King's whatever, or Hildegard of Bingen, her Gregorian chants. None of that's going to matter. At the end of the day, the songs don't matter. What does matter is, can you get from A to E7 and back? That's going to matter, right? And that's why we do it on songs that maybe you've heard of in the past. We're getting less and less where young people don't know these songs. And in other words, your grandchildren, they don't know these songs. They grew up on Disney. And so you could sit down with a ukulele and sing them songs, and they would think that's a hoot. And it would give you a chance to do stuff you already know how to sing. You're just working on these basic chord shapes and a little bit of right hand stuff, and your grandkids and you will have a delightful time. Let's go over and grab let's grab page 13, Simple Gifts. Now we're going to practice a little bit more with thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. So get your A chord on. Okay, we won't go very fast. Your job is just to pay attention to where the chords I always tell people, whatever chord you're on, don't fall asleep on that one. Look and see where the next chord's coming, so you're ready to change when it's time. I wrote a song one time with just these two chords, and it's just, isn't it beautiful? A to E7. Simple, 'tis a gift to be free, change, 'tis a gift to come down to where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place that is right, it will be in the valley of love and delight. Keep going. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we won't be ashamed. To turn, turn, and turn, it will be our delight, till by turning and turning we come round right. Okay, so I sung pretty quickly, but the chords don't move that quickly, right? So you can take your time to get them. If that's too hard at first, which it probably is, then you do something simpler. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free. 'Tis a gift to come down to where we ought to be. Okay, remember A chord. When we find ourselves, that is right, it will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we won't be ashamed. To turn, turn, and turn, it will be our delight, till by turning and turning we come round right. Okay, so those are two chord songs. In the book, you have one chord songs which have red headlines, two chord songs have green headlines, three chord songs have blue headlines, and four chord songs have purple headlines. So I'd like to, by the way, tomorrow, page 12, the spaghetti monster's on there, on top of spaghetti. We will be covering this song in every moment of it, right? So tonight, if you're sitting around, you're like, I need to practice for ukulele tomorrow. You practice on top of spaghetti, because you're going to need, it's got an A, a D, and an E7 in there, and it's got a message of hope. And so we need that in these chaotic times. You ever thought, I always think about has there ever been a time when it wasn't chaotic? You know, like people are sitting around going, God, I'm bored. I don't know if that ever happened. I want to turn to page 14, Soft Kitty. I'm going to make things a little bit tougher in terms of counting. So far, we've had kind of long goes between chord changes. Okay, so grab page 14, Soft Kitty. Those of you guys who watch Big Bang Theory, you'll remember Sheldon wants people to sing Soft Kitty to him when they're sick or they're sad. And so I give it to you here, exactly what goes on the show. And we have it in the key of A. Okay, now, we've been doing a lot of thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, and we've done a bunch of pluck, 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 pluck. Now I want to do some thumb down, okay? It's a lullaby. It's supposed to be sad, or sad, not really sad. It's supposed to be sweet, right? So just thumb down, 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 down. Now we're going to get caught in the last line. It says purr, 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 and you're going to have have to switch chords for each strum. But before that, you'll hear it and pay attention. Don't fall asleep on the chord you're on. Be whatever chord you have on, look to see what the next chord is coming up and be ready for it. If you have to leave the current chord before you get to the next chord to get it on in time, do it, right? You don't need to strum every single one and then be late to the next chord. If you see a tough chord coming up, strum once and then go get your next chord on and be ready, so that by the time you get to the first beat of the new chord, you have that chord on and you're ready to play. That's a skill you have to practice. Okay, A chord, 1, 2, 3, 4. Soft kitty, E7, warm kitty, A, little ball of fur, happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr. Isn't that a good exercise to get you where you're sort of fall asleep on the A chord there with little ball of fur, happy kitty? That's a long 4-beat count, or maybe more than that. And then the last line, purr, purr, purr. Okay, so that's with thumb down. That's another way of making your ukulele sound beautiful. Okay, generally speaking, when you're plucking like this, you're going to need to pluck basically over the hole. You need to get it out of the way of this fretboard. Some people will go down here, but it's a little more tense sound. Elizabeth one time did a song called Sakura, where she used completely on the point down here. But some people will play down. Now, they're usually people that are trained in classical guitar. I recommend you pluck right above the hole. It's probably the prettiest place. And when you're strumming, thumb down, I want you to strum right where the body and the neck come together. Okay? Just right in the middle of the string, the softest, prettiest spot. Okay, one more time, soft kitty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur, happy kitty, sleepy kitty, purr, purr, purr. All right, now we're going to mix in one multi-chord song. So right underneath that is this little light of mine. Okay, we're going to go from A to D. So get your A chord on. Then we're going to go to D. Remember, just drop your middle finger and surround it with these guys. And then E7. I'm doing a bunch of those. And back to A. Okay? Let's do it one time real slow, and then we'll speed it up. Ready? Oh, and by the way, baritone, you guys know you have different chord shapes. You know that. From the top, this little light of mine. 1, 2, 3, 4. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Now you gotta change to D chord. This little light of mine. Back to A. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. D chord. Let it shine. Let it, E7, shine. Let it shine. Okay, now however you were strumming it, pick a different way now. Okay, I'm going to grab all 4 chords. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Okay, so there we go. So you have different ways of attacking your right hand. Mainly, we're going to do multi-finger pluck, a multi-finger slow pluck, call that, an arpeggio. Okay, we're going to do thumb down. That's another way of making noise. And then, of course, index finger down, up, down, up, down, up. Tomorrow we will be doing in level 1, we will for sure do Spaghetti Monster. If there's any song in the book that you're having fun with or that you're not having fun with, either way, tomorrow you come in early, drop in the chat box, hey Gary, can we work on Danny Boy or Five Little Monkeys or I'm a little teapot or whatever. Right? I don't care. All these songs, in my mind, are great for what they're there for, which is to, number 1, teach you A, F sharp minor, D, and E7, and then to be songs that you might have heard of at some point in your past, right? And that you could share that with somebody. Honestly, you can go, everybody can sit around, I hear, oh, I'm going to take my ukulele camping. And what happens is you take your ukulele camping and it stays in the back of the pickup. So take these along, hand them out to everybody about dinner time and say, hey, we're going to be singing. And they're going to be like, I hate singing. And then they're going to have a great time, right? You pull out Hokey Pokey and they're going to be down. Also notice in here your happy birthday is in 4/4, so it's quite a bit different than you're used to. Happy birthday to you, chug a shug. Happy birthday to you, shug a shug shug shug. Happy birthday, dear children. Happy birthday to you, shug a shug shug shug. Right, so you got some fun stuff in here. Do the whole book tonight. Go through the whole book. Try to play everything, and then come in tomorrow and be like, this didn't go so well, this went great. Fashion sing along tomorrow. Book 2. Let me get my correct playlist out. So book 2. And I bet you anything I don't have Siúil A Rún. I don't have either of these in the thing yet, so let's go get them. Click, 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 click. Now last summer we worked pretty hard on these Celtic tunes. I had not, we did Danny Boy in the past, but outside of that, we hadn't done any of them. And now we have a whole bunch of what I feel like are really, really fine arrangements. And so hopefully you're enjoying working on them. Kind of weird song. Whiskey in the Jar is a super weird song. But grab Siúil A Rún, the ukulele version first. Let's go through that real quick, and then we'll knock it out on baritone as well. 4/4 time. Okay, I always recommend that people say, hey, let's take some time to go through the chords real quick, because if you get a chance to take a look at the chords, then you'll know you'll basically have a general sense of how difficult the song is going to be. If you go through and you see G, F, G, A minor, C, you're like, okay, I think I can handle that. But look at measure 7. You got A minor 6, and you're like, what the heck is that? You know, right? And the A minor 6 at the 7 is different than the A minor 6 at 9, right? And so there are going to be moments when things get a little messy, okay? And that's where you, oops, it looks like I'm having some connectivity problems. You guys will let me know if you get doesn't go very well. We haven't had connectivity problems here at the house in quite some time, so I'm kind of disappointed. Let's see. Okay. All right. Siúil A Rún. Celtic music for ukulele. Let's see if we can figure this. Lynn still loves Siúil A Rún. All right, thanks. Thanks, Becky. Good to have you here. Diane made it in. Just came from golf with Annette and Mike. I know they all say hi. Annette should say, Gary's stupid. I was supposed to take her ukulele last Monday, and I had it on the pile of stuff to take, and I pushed it aside to get to the pile of stuff. And so Annette should be mad at me. All right, so your main chords: G chord, F chord, A minor, C. And that's going to be your main chords throughout the whole thing, right? And let's play through the melody first. Let's make sure we have a general sense of what it is. Let me again advertise on the website whenever I post a song. Most of you do not have any idea what Siúil A Rún is, right? And so one of the most underutilized and most valuable resources that we have at JollyRogerUkulele.com is the MP3 player. So if you're sitting at the computer and you look over at the right side, I think it's Sign up for the email list, of course, is on top, and sign in as a member. That's the next thing down. And the very next thing down is MP3 player. Has every song, all 400 and whatever number of songs we have on the site, and go listen to the song. Pull the sheet music out, stare at the sheet music, listen to the song a few times, and you're like, okay, I think I know what's going on, and then go play it. But to just sit and sight read it, it's pretty tough to do. This is what do they call it? Kombucha. It looks like I'm having a beer, but I'm not. All right. Let's play the melody first. 1, 2, 3. Go up to 10. Measure 5. That's a nice long, that's 2 beats, and then you have 3 beats to repeat it. Let's go back up to the top just for practice. Go back to the top and play the repeat. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And then you've got 4 beats in measure 8 while we're waiting for the chord players to do their job. They get 8 beats of you doing nothing. Okay, now let's go to measure 9. Start on 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Okay, page 2. Messed that up. Okay, then you get to the end of 17, you're like, okay, there's a repeat. Where do I go? Where do I go? All the way back up to the top. Okay, and so we may or may not do that today, but we will play. Then you play that top again. Same exact thing. Play 1 through 7 again, and 8 through 1 through 6. So you play the top again twice, and then the second time, and then of course go down to verse 2. Right, verse 2 jumps at measure 18 and goes to the end, and then when you get down there, you're supposed to go back and play it at one more time. It's crazy how many times you're supposed to repeat that. In any event, perfectly lovely just playing it a couple of times through. Okay, just pick whatever repeats you want to do, and it's fine. So you got a general sense of what the melody sounds like. So now let's go ahead and put in some chords and see if we can make it flesh it out just a little bit. Okay, so 3, 5, 7. That's the hard part right there. So 1 from the top. 1, 2, 3. F chord. 10, 7. Okay, go ahead and play 7. Come back to 1. Whoops. 8. Measure 9, 7, 8, 9. G. Page 2. Bar on 5, pink on 10. That's a tough reach, guys. 2, 3, 3. Okay, measure 13. Okay, measure 15. Chord here at the middle of 17. Okay, now get there. You're going to go toss all the way back up to the top. We're not going to do it right now, but you know what you're supposed to do. Go back and play that whole exact thing the same exact way twice. Okay, and guys, I'm getting a ton of error messages here on my screen here that there's not enough video coming at you, so it may be choppy. Hopefully the sound will continue through. YouTube from time to time just gets, I think it just gets overfull of people. Let's look at the ending real quick, because there are a couple of things that are a tiny bit different, not a ton. Go to 18. Okay, last time you come through, you won't play 15, 16, 17, you'll play 18. Last 2 times actually. I don't know why I don't have a DSL. I'll have to look at the repeats. I don't know why. It looks like I should have a DSL coda or something along around measure 20. So the video is good. Okay, good. Thanks, Vic. All right, so from 18, let's do it one more time. From 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sixth, and then high up 7, 8, 9, and then a nice A minor to finish. Okay, so those chords that are weird that we don't run into very often, A minor 6th, and then higher up, those are part of what gives this song its mystery, and so you want to be able to handle those when they show up. Let's do it one more time. Let's do from the top. We'll go down to measure 7, come back up to the top, and then we'll just play straight to the bottom, and we'll skip 15, 16, and 17. That way we'll have a chance to really hear the whole song. So from the top, 2 times on top, and then straight to the bottom, skipping those middle measures. 1, 2, 3. you're on measure 18, bar 7. For the high A minor, that's hard to get to. Probably easier on a baritone. Isn't that pretty? It's a really pretty song. Let's go grab the baritone version of it. We'll just play through the baritone version one time, just so you get a sense of what's going on there. On the baritone version, D chord, C chord, E minors, equally delightful chords on ukulele. So here's another song where you might think, if I have a baritone playing friend, maybe I'll have them play the tough uke. I'll just play the chords. From the top, same exact thing. 1, 2, 3. Page 18, measure 18. Fancies. There you go. That'd be extra fancy. So if you're doing this E minor, of course it sounds beautiful. But if you want to do the high E minor, just put a bar on 12 and do the exact same shape. Kind of a mysterious sort of thing. It's really, really pretty. Rita's in from Illinois. Hey Rita, 76 and sunny. It's a perfect day in Chicago. Okay. Let's take a look at Whiskey in the Jar. Come on, Gary. Whiskey in the Jar. Grab the baritone version first. As I was going over the far-famed Kerry Mountains, I met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced me pistol, and then produced my rapier. Said, stand and deliver, for you are a bold deceiver. Musha-ray, musharoo, mushara. Whack for my daddy-o, whack for my daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. That's it. That's the whole song. Now, these ray-dumma-da, ray-dumma-doo, dumma-da, they're really singing that. They really, honest to God, and they do it every single time. That's kind of why you do it, I think. Ray-dumma-doo, dumma-da. And depending on which version you look at, depends on how they type it out. Whack for my daddy-o. So it's a super funny one. Hey, Ronnie, gotta go. Dr. Zoom appointment. All right. Have a great day. We're going to play Whiskey in the Jar. It's more fun than going to the doctor. All right. So there's not a ton to the song. A chord, right? And on ukulele, you know your A chord. F sharp minor. Baritone has to work. Okay, but it's easier on ukulele. Okay, D chord. Okay, and then back to A chord. And then there's surely an E7. Yeah, there's some E7s in the second part. But here's what's nice about it. If you think about the chord structure of this, A chord, F sharp minor, and D, E7, back to A. All right, that's comes straight out of this little booklet I teach you on day 2, right? Those are the exact chords. The only chord in here that's a little bit different, you got a C sharp minor. There's whiskey in the jar. So when you get done after 900 verses of it, you come around to measure 13. And there's whiskey in the jar, right? So you slow way down. My repeats go right over the numbers. That's not very good. All right, let's give this a little bit of a tough ukification. Now the whole thing's supposed to be way fast, right? The faster you can do it, the better. But let's do it real slow. Let's do it like a ballad. Somebody's bound to end up dead after in this song, so let's make it sad. I'm gonna count in 4, and then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting that last part correct with the rhythm is going to be pretty hard. That's why you don't go too fast on this song. If you go super fast, you're going to be in a pickle when you get to those 16th notes in measure 9. So, Musha Ray Damadoo, Musha Ray Damadoo Damada. Okay, and whenever you see 16th notes, you try not to have chords underneath them. It doesn't always work out, but you try not to. Like there's a 16th note up in measure 7 that has a chord right underneath it. But you to get it to go fast enough is very, very challenging. Let's play it one more time, and then we'll put it on ukulele. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming around the last time with make it pretty, and that C sharp minor, all it does is create a weird cadence at the end to let you shut the whole thing down after a relatively wild ride. All right, so let's grab the ukulele version of this and see how it's equally entertaining. All right, so everything should be the same. Baritone players, you actually have a tiny bit easier go of things than the ukulele players have on this one, generally speaking. You've got real pleasant chords. You got your D chord, da, 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 da. Your B minor is right there. Okay, your G chord is just right there, and then I think your what is it, A7? Yeah, your A7 isn't hard either. Okay, so there's all of those. Okay, your F sharp minor is a little weird. Okay, there's with. Oh, wait, maybe it's F sharp minor. D F sharp minor. Oh, it's this one. Whiskey. D chord of whiskey. In the jar. Yeah, so your F sharp minor is there. It's our B minor on ukulele. Here we go. A couple of times through. Do we have time? We do. Twice through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second ending. Isn't that fun? That's a fun song. So we'll play it again tomorrow if you want. Tomorrow, remember, guys, for book 2, we've got 4. I would put them in world-class arrangements. Let me see. Let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. Tomorrow we have Whiskey in the Jar, Siúil A Rún, Parting Glass, and Molly Malone. So if you walk in and somebody doesn't ask for Parting Glass right off the bat, I'm going to be afraid that you've been overtaken by aliens. So what a great day of music tomorrow. Just walk in, let me know what you want to play first, and then we'll do that. And then take a little bit of time tonight, just read through everything and make sure you're good. Go listen to the MP3s. I get a little loose around timing and a little but sort of rounding off between quarter notes and eighth notes sometimes. I shouldn't do that, but I do. And so get a good sense of how the song's really supposed to go, and then bring your best game in tomorrow. Should be super fun day. Really, really pretty music. Now we've got to get on to Blue Danube. I posted yesterday. I posted a lead sheet version of it, so some of you probably came by and grabbed that and got to work on it. Today I posted the full arrangement. Okay, so we're going to work off of the full arrangement today. So if you did the lead sheet, which you should have, you will have already become a fine musician, because it had a whole lot of just moments in it where you're like, what the heck is going on here? And So grab the ukulele version of Blue Danube. Let's walk through all of the different challenges that you're going to face in this piece, and talk about, again, how classical music can make you super happy and super sad at the same time. So Blue Danube Waltz, again, is one of these songs that we tend to teach new piano players. Relatively straightforward, quarter notes and half notes, right? And we use it to teach the waltz time and all this stuff. Hey, Jacqueline, good to see you. And so it is, on the surface, not a particularly challenging song. But probably if you've taken any time to spend on this, you already figure out this is a whole lot harder than you'd think. And it's because we're taking a piano, right hand does this thing, left hand does boom, chuck, chuck, boom, chuck, chuck. And we've combined them into one space. And so on ukulele, this is stuff that's pretty challenging. Okay? And so as you are approaching all of this classical music, just because you think, oh, I like that song, I remember that. That was on Bugs Bunny or whatever. Don't think it's going to just be a walk in the park to play it. Some of it may be, but so far, between Morning Mood and Blue Danube, we've ended up with, gosh, these are a lot harder than we want them to be. And that's kind of a nice challenge, I hope. And then also, and more importantly, it gives you a chance to be very specific. It'll be much cleaner than usually if you're playing Whiskey in the Jar and you get it sort of more or less in the ballpark, that's what you're after. But on classical music, you kind of want to get it pretty close to right, And I don't believe in right and wrong in music, but I know that there are righter and less right in music, and you want to be more on the getting it closer to correct. Also with this one, if you are out of time, it won't sound right. So you have two completely different ways of playing this, and you will, those of you who worked on the lead sheet, figured out real quick over measure 26, 27, 28. Things got to be a mess really, really quickly. And then when you were creating your tough acts or tough uke arrangement, you're probably like, I do not know what to do. I mean, I spent a long time on 26, 27, 28, 29, that area there, trying to get it to be my idea of what this song's supposed to be. And so if you weren't struggling with it, I don't like you anymore, because it's a struggle. Okay, from the top, we're going to play the melody first. Chords here, we'll talk about them as they show up. That's kind of interesting. So just F chord and C7s, obviously, to get started. From the top, just the ukulele melody. And when we're talking about ukulele melody in this situation, we're talking about double stops. So let's play up to measure 2 and then we'll talk. So ready? Play. Okay, now you know that's iconic. That is everybody knows what's going to happen next. Blunk, 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 blunk. Everybody, the whole world, every human being on this planet knows that what's going to happen. When you are a violin player, you usually play one string at a time. Dun, dun, dun. Usually, a violin player would probably play. Let me do it right. That's what the violin's job is. The viola player is going to be doing a different thing. The cello player is probably going to be maybe mirroring what the violin player is doing. But they're playing one note at a time. Definitely if you're on trumpet or on clarinet or oboe, any of those, flute, you're going to play one note at a time. But when we get into 2 notes at a time, they call it double stop. And that comes from the violin world, where you're going to play 2 strings at the same time, which is what you're going to be doing. You're used to playing 3 and 4 strings at the same time. But when you have double stops on a violin, your bow actually goes across 2 strings at the same time. And that is more popularly known as playing the fiddle. There's a big difference between playing violin and playing fiddle, I guess I should say, is an extra string. So in fiddle, they use a ton of double stops. In violin, you do use double stops, but not near to the extent that we do in other forms of play. And so violins make up for it because they often have to play 30 seconds and 64 notes and all sorts of crazy difficult stuff. So we let them get away with playing one note at a time. Most of the orchestral instruments, that's all they will do, is one note at a time. We have to do double stops. So when you see that 3-5, you got to grab both at the same time. Isn't that cool? Sounds really fun. So we've got some activity going on. Fingering for measure 6. It's exactly what you think. 3 and 6. Okay? Yeah. So I'll give you a couple of thoughts on this. If you're on guitar, this is always correct. If you're 4 frets apart, index finger on 1, pinky on 4, 1 and 4, 3 and 6, 5 and 8. That never changes. But on ukulele, we do have some flexibility because things are closer together. So you could use your ring finger there. You could use your middle and your pinky, right? But ideally, if there's 4 frets, you should use this one and this one. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about there. Jen says, late to the party, but still excited to learn some more music. Well, we're learning Strauss. I don't know if we want to properly call that music, but that's a classical music joke. All right, so let's play along. Pinky won't reach. Pinky won't reach. Pinky, yes, it will. Yes, it will. So, guys, especially with 4, so when you have 4 frets and 4 fingers, each finger gets a fret. We've been through that plenty, right? Yeah. If you're on 1, you play everything that's a 4 has to be played with your pinky. That's what, and this is as far apart as they are. When you get up here, the problem is everything's so close together. Okay, so but it will reach. I do promise. I promise. So 3 and 6, you can do that. Okay, let's play it together. You guys are ahead of me. 1, 2. 3 and 5. 1 and 0. Five and 6. 5 and 5. Now we gotta go clear up to 8. And back to 3 and 5. Again, back to 8. 8 and 10. Use your ring finger to get on the 10. And then back to 5 and 6. Okay, and then and now the thought song changes a little bit. So go grab the 3. Pinky on 5. And then here you got the same problem. You got 5s and 8s, right? So use your index and pinky. You're going to hit 3 of those in a row. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And then 2, 3, 12. Now here's what I want you to do. You have to do it this way. It's required by law. 2, 3, and then take your pinky, or take whatever finger, it doesn't matter what finger you use, and drag it up. Okay? Now, if you're on electric guitar, it'll cooperate. It'll go whom, right? But on ukulele, you just get a little bit of that, and which is fine. Right? So when you're on 3, go right up to 12, and then right back to 3s and 2 5s. Now we're triple stopping. 3, 5, 5, and then pinky on 8, 5, 5, 6, hit the 7, 7, 0, 3, 1. 2 F chords. And then bum, bum, and then 1 and 3. Again, another triple stop. Okay. Wham. Go all the way back to the top and play. Ready, go. and 5. Eight and 10. 5 and 6. 3. 5. 5 and 8. All right, you hit 2 5s. 2 3. Slide up to 12. Back to 3 5 5. 5 and 6. Hit the 7. 7 0. And then go all the way to the second ending. F chord. Okay, now that one section in there, 27, 28, 29, very hard to play and doesn't sound exactly like a full symphony playing it, but it is correct, even though we might not necessarily love the way that sounds. Those extra beats in there keep the waltz time going. I got rid of them in the tough uke. I like this. Right, and we're going to talk about how to play that here in just a minute. Okay, pinky won't reach. I love that. I probably told you guys I'm in trouble for my pinky both in guitar class and in piano class. So I'm going to spend the rest of my days doing this. Right, I'm going to be building up my curvature on my pinky. All right, let's talk tough uke. Okay, because this is actually a little bit more what I think is what it's supposed to sound like. This is a little more symphonic. Okay. F chord. Let's go for a little bit. Go. Double stop. Double stop. F chord. C chord. Double stop. And then 5, 6, 7. It's just your E minor shape up on 5. Double stop. Then you got a high level D minor, right? Bar on 5, ring on 7. Double stops. F chord. High F chord, 5, 5, 5, 8. Use your pinky to grab both of the 8s. And then 3, 5 double stops. F chord. Grab your 8 and then 2 fingers on 10, so your triple stop. And then double stops. 5 and 6 double stop. And we'll grab your 3 and then G chord. G minor. Probably better just grab a G minor right off the way. So make yourself a note. That 3, whoops, that 3 in measure 24. You really want to have your ring finger on that 3 because you're going to need to put your full G minor on. All right, so get your 3 on. Use your ring finger at the end of 24. 1, 2. Pinky, and then 0, 0, 0, 5. Here we go. Now, you see that little wiggle over there on the computer? It sounds terrible. It goes wink. But what I want you to do, get it's harder with your index finger, not too bad with your middle finger, really fun with your ring finger. When you hit that 12, okay, vibrate it. Okay, we're doing a real legitimate violin technique here, okay, called vibrato. Okay, and you're going to do it for until your ukulele goes dead. Right, but try to get it for 1, 2, 3, 4 full beats. Now you're going to go. Now you're going to grab 8, 9. And it might be easier just to grab index and 9, and then 5, 6, 7. 0, 0, 7. And then your F chords. Play the whole thing again to the top. go. Second ending. Oh, isn't that awesome? It's a fun piece of music. Yeah, and so again, you don't want to get going too fast because you've got to try to keep measures 27, 28, 29, and 30. That's going to be the harder sections of that, and you want to make sure those stay together. Now, obviously, it's not hard to play and let it go for 4 measures, but it is when you think about what comes before it and what comes after it. You want to get that as clean as possible. This would be a fun a fun piece of music for one person to do uke 1 and one person to do uke 2, because you're going to have some moments where there's clashing notes. Look at measure 30. If the uke 1 is playing, they're going to hit a 7 on the 3rd string, and uke 2 is going to hit a 6 on the 2nd string, and you're going to end up with a sort of a randomish feeling chord there. And on ukulele, because we have such close harmonies, it'll end up sounding kind of cool. So if you have a friend, none of us have friends, but if we had one, if you accidentally end up with one, have them play one line and you play another line. Still working on the wobble. Jan said that wobble, right? So I think it's harder with your index finger. Okay, a little easier with the middle finger. Okay, and then ring finger is my preference. Have a wiggly ring. Right, and that's what you're working on. It'll be very subtle. It also, you know, a less expensive ukulele won't wobble for as long as a more expensive ukulele, that sort of thing. Every ukulele will wobble to some extent. You can use a $50 Mahalo and it'll wobble just fine, but it doesn't have that sustain power that a more expensive ukulele might have. And so, you know, be patient with yourself as you're doing your wiggle. It's less important that the wiggle, you can hear the wiggle, than that you do it as a matter of course. Okay, Gary says wiggle at 12. And if nothing comes out, nothing comes out. But at least you wiggled. The official term is vibrato. The academic term is vibrato. The truth is you're just wiggling your finger. Don't lift up either. That's the other thing people have a tendency to do is they want to move. You know, they want to move it around or something. Just keep it exactly where it is. And really, I'm just wiggling mostly from here, right? Bup, dup, dup, dup. Violinists, their attack angles this way, so they have a tendency to go back and forth a little bit. But on ukulele, since you're probably going to be mostly perpendicular to the fretboard, just wiggle it as best you can. It'll come out. It'll be fun. Do you hold your thumb to wobble? No, heck no. How you going? No. Like you could. Yeah, take your thumb off, and then you can use your whole hand. That's a good point, Jan. Yeah. Take your thumb off. And just do your whole hand, use that as your engine. Show them the sustain on the Barry. Yeah, so do we have time? We do. All right, yeah, we'll cheat a little bit. We'll switch this over to baritone. Thanks, Nancy, good idea. Baritone, of course, has a tiny bit more sustain, and so let's talk a little tiny more sustain, so the vibrato is a little easier. You know, and of course I want all of you to rush out and buy a baritone, but it's better on a guitar, and it's way better on an electric guitar. So if you want to just run out and buy a Stratocaster, you can get really awesome vibrato. Right? All right. So grab the baritone version. We'll play through it real quick. Now, and the nice part about that is, think about what's about to happen. You're about to play a waltz on ukulele with the lead player playing a baritone, and so your job is to do the chords, okay, and look at your chords: C, G7, D minor, A minor, C, F, D minor, G7, C, D minor, G7, C, G7, C. And right now you're thinking, I can totally do this, okay? Now, if you're playing a waltz, how does a waltz go? La 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 la, chunk chunk, chunk chunk. Right? That's how they go. How you could play that as a player? Grab your C chord. Boom chuck chuck, boom chuck chuck, boom chuck chuck. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And when we do waltzes, that first beat is a little heavier. If I'm on a baritone playing a waltz, I'm going to use this top string this low string to my advantage. I'm going to probably hit that first and then use 3 strings, index, middle, and ring, on these, on the chucks. So that's what I'd be doing on a baritone. On a ukulele, I'd probably be doing thumb on the C string, and then whatever happens to be. That's what I'd be doing, right? Boom, dun, dun. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's why when we're doing classical, you got to be a little tighter on your timing, because probably the rest of the band, that's exactly what they're doing. Pa, 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 pa. And you don't get the same amount of wiggle room that you would get playing, Ed Sheeran, song about how beautiful somebody is. Okay, that you get a little more wiggle room in your timing. Let's play the baritone version of this. And ukulele players, give me 3 beats per measure. The other possibility on waltz, if you are doing boom, chuck, chuck, boom, boom, chuck, chuck, boom, chuck, chuck, you can also, remember, you're in 3. That means you can get away with 6. Thumb, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're playing 8th notes when you do that. So you might want to try that if you're feeling it. From the top. Oh, and by the way, in honor of Nancy, when I get to the 12, I'm going to give it the maximum amount of wiggle that I can. From the top. 1, 2. Go. Second ending. I'm having fun. The other thing, guys, with this is we've done many times on the arpeggios. With those double stops and triple stops, pluck them, and on the full chords, use your thumb, so you get a chance to strum and pluck at the same time. That skill is a professional level skill. Most people have a little bit of a challenge switching between one type of attack and another type of attack, and the more you work on it, the easier it gets. And so plus a song like this, where you really want those blink 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 blink, you really want those to be stand out between the strumming stuff. So there we go. Blue Danube. Tomorrow we're going to play Blue Danube, and we're going to play Morning Mood. So we're playing Strauss and Grieg tomorrow. Those of you guys that are hardcore nerds, you should pat yourself on the back. You have arrived. You are playing legit high-level classical music on a crummy old ukulele. So we're going to be doing this for really the rest of the season. So all the way into, when we get to Christmas songs, after Thanksgiving, as close as possible to Christmas without being embarrassingly not on. We will. you know what I'm saying. Put off Christmas music as long as we can. But we will do some. And then, but the rest of the season, we're going to be doing one piece of classical music after another. And I don't know all of this. I haven't even written out most of the songs we're going to be working on. So that by the end of the, you know, as our approach into the depths of winter are happening, you will end up with hopefully some really nice classical tunes that you can impress your friends with, and they're really lovely. They're really fun, and you know, the fact that we have already done a full Beethoven sonatina, that we've done an entire Bach piece, you know, it shows that you guys can do this, and we can do some really neat things. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'm going to go head off to Harmonica. I'm going to go brush my teeth real fast, and then I will see all y'all tomorrow for our end of the week concert. Remember, we have those 4 Irish songs. We've got 34 songs out of here, and we have 2 classical tunes. And so do your homework tonight. Get ready to play tomorrow. I'll see you then. And I won't say goodbye to everybody. There's too many of you here. So have a great afternoon. Peace.